Might be on its way out. Maybe mid-sword is a new fad. There's too little Gawain for my tastes and not enough Roland, but we'll see.
Oh, come on.
Stop it, Arthur. Stop it.
Yeah, stop it,
you know
man.
That's our pressure point. Get out of here.
All right, here it is. Once again, to the battlefield. Neutral forest versus sword.
Okay. So, immediately, what needs to happen, DV8 must find a way to stick a Beauty and the Beast. He must.
Or just draw a staircase. Thank you.
Or-
Okay, I was going to
there
say,
you
like, get
go.
an early staircase or something that we haven't released yet.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's got a curve. He's got a staircase. You can't really ask for a better starting scenario than this, other than already having the Beauty and the Beast in hand.
Right.
But is looking good. Now, on the same token, Underwear does not have a bad hand either. He's got a 2-drop, he's got a 3-drop, he's got a 4-drop, and a 5-drop. He's got curve verse. You know what I mean? Like, just what you like to see when you're playing.
Right. You always want to see your curves when you're playing a very curve-heavy / curve-conscious deck. And Sword is by far the most curve-heavy / curve-conscious
And it
deck.
always has been. I doubt it. I doubt
You know,
that will
it has-
change.
Yeah. I mean, some people could make an argument for Aggro Blood, but not more than Sword.
Sure. Aggro Blood at
We
least
don't
has
see
ways to deal indirect damage, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Sword is very
even summon
upfront.
Bloodkin with Vanya. Or, sorry, Vinaya. Yeah, Vinaya. That's what we came to the conclusion of.
But even still, like, with that, it seems like right now, Sword isn't running out of gas, you know, as much
Never.
or as fast as we would expect to see. They're not running out of gas. The Luxes, the Staircase, the Paradise, the 3 Alberts in hand right now. That was just completely random. I just saw that he had 3 Alberts. But the Luxes, the Staircase, the Paradise, those cards allowing Sword to just have cards all the time. You know, be able
Now,
to just
something I want to make mention of is the Evo of Geno there. It looks really obscure to do that, but it would have allowed for Illyrial to evolve into it to kill it and go face for extra damage.
right. I mean, he's sitting on like 3 Literals on the board, right? So.
Right. This actually saved him points of damage by making him trade.
Yeah. And the Staircase pops. So next turn, he may draw a Beauty and the Beast, and this would be yet another one of those times that if he draws it, it's going to be good.
That's right, and he's going to draw exactly 4 cards, which would be exactly the threshold you need. But now there's all these wards in the way, you know what I mean? So this is rough days. This is quite literally the perfect draw that Forrest could get, especially if the Beauty and the Beast happens right now, which it does.
Well, he got
So-
it. He got 2 of them. So
2.
Yeah.
Best possible scenario. If it can't win this game, don't play this deck, please.
Right. Right.
Please. That's all I'm going to say.
What he said. They don't do it to yourself.
I know it's got half of these players into top 8, and I'm still asking myself how.
Well, it could be that, remember, that the people that they were playing against, this deck would have been tech to play against, you know?
That's true.
I don't know what they were playing, though. I don't know what they were trying to tech against for neutral forest. I don't know. Wish I did, but he opts not to play the Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my goodness. When Beauty and the Beast? Just when?
Is he even going to have another chance to play it? Especially
maybe
after
Beauty and the
this-
Beast wasn't active. Maybe he only had 2 neutral cards in hand, actually, off of that Staircase. So maybe he couldn't play Beauty with at least the protection effect.
Oh, right.
To be fair, I don't
right.
I guess
I
it's
think I
relevant
would've
because
played
of
it.
Council of Card Knights, but
I think I still would have played it.
I think the pump is good enough against Sword.
Right.
I don't think you necessarily need the protection. It's not like they're burning it or dance of deathing it or anything.
I don't know what he's going to do now.
Yeah, now I have no idea the game plan.
Yeah.
Because if Beauty and the Beast wasn't game 1 or wasn't like game plan number 1, then I don't know what his idea of finishing this game out will look like.
So I want to go back to something you said before. You were saying that roundtable assembly must randomly pull two commanders. Every time this game, we've seen it played twice. It's pulled White Paladin and Mark.
Yep.
Every time.
Every time.
So,
now, like I said, it's the best odds to do that because obviously they're equal numbers in deck. But it's uncanny to me to see it this many times.
right.
Like, I don't know, Disaster top 8, every single sword matchup, like one of each of the commanders, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, too much coincidence, it rocks my Matrix brain, you know what I'm talking about?
Right. I know how you feel, man. I have no idea. Maybe they figured that out. Maybe that's why they're running this lineup, because they figured that out. You know,
they neoed into the Matrix, understood what they needed to do after reading the lines of code, and they were just like, okay, this is what's up. That is a massive Fangblade Slayer.
That's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
That's a big boy. That's a big dude right there. Yeah, you just pack it in, man. Pack it in.
So, one thing I want to make mention of, DV8 did not deviate from the plan and continue to ban PDK, and we're still seeing that. I don't know. I think it might have been a proper choice to just let PDK through and see if Force could beat that deck. I mean, it's got wards, it's got heals, it's got Beauty and the Beast to stuff up, you know, PDK turns. It's got, I think, better tools to deal with PDK than it does to deal with any of these other decks.
Right. Yeah. We're seeing the Achilles heel for both him and Crumzion as this neutral Forest list.
Yep. It's just crazy.
So,
like we haven't even seen it come close to winning a game yet.
Right. We've not only that, we've seen one Beauty and the Beast played that I can remember. It got dealt with, and then after that, it was like, well, that was a fun game.
Time to shine, Daria.
All right, so now we get to see it in action again. We've seen this matchup several times. Let's see if it will play out any differently. Now,
man.
considering these options, so I know we talked about, you know, identifying things that you want to be doing for next week, like how you want to be teching your decks, maybe the different levels of thinking you should go into on when deciding to build your decks. What control deck would you, Aya, right now build to handle, say, Midsword and PDK with a wild card that you might want to ban, or would you ban PDK and then have a control deck that you think could handle Midsword and, say, Burn Rune at the moment?
I would still ban PDK, but Control Blood. Because there is a card that is in Control Blood that I think is really good right now, and it's Blood Hungry Matriarch.
Interesting.
All of these really small, irritating followers that people would just jam in the late game, and you're like, I can't deal with this unless I rev. Blood Hungry Matriarch is like, there's your board, there's your face. Okay? So that would be my choice, especially after seeing this Midsword deck. Blood Hungry Matriarch would be dinner. It would be at dinner time, okay? Like, you would just see Midsword crying in a corner with Blood Hungry Matriarch, and I would be playing 3 of it because I would be like, if I thought that people were going to be bringing this Midsword list, I'd be playing Control Blood 100%. Board wipes for days. Okay, Hungering Forge.
Control Blood, definitely a great option. 100% agreed. Now, the one thing that's weird about what I was thinking is I think that Ramp Dragon looks phenomenal in this metagame right now. I believe it has a really good game against PDK, really good game against Midsword, really good game, especially good game against this control, you know, neutral Forest deck. And it can lose to Burn Rune, but it has enough heal to sustain itself, and it's more of a 50-50 matchup than anything. The problem is that it would take your PDK slot, so they could easily just ban your Ramp Dragon much the same, and then you're kind of in the same situation where before. You still need a control deck to play.
See, a Ramp Dragon list would not be an auto ban. You know,
that's true.
Like, it wouldn't be an auto ban. Some people may look at it and go, you know, I don't feel the need to auto ban that, because when you look at Ramp Dragon, you're like, all right, you know, I could probably outrush him and this and another. Ramp Dragon has a, you know, I think it has a decent matchup against Midsword, or at least the Midsword list that, you know, we've been seeing. Ramp Dragon would be amazing, like jamming Bahamut's against them, right?
Yeah, people aren't playing Sabakis anymore. You know, they're not playing like a ton of stuff that can deal with the big dragon followers. So
this is like the weenie era. You know, like if you look back at Magic, or it was like white weenie, that's kind of what I'm referring to in terms of like the reference. This is like the weenie era, like a lot of small, you know, board filling guys, and this kind of. So there are cards that are available that will allow you to deal with that stuff. And as I mentioned, Blood Hungry Matriarch would be my #1 go-to for that.
That makes sense. Control Blood is definitely always your go-to. I know that for a fact.
Yes, it is. But Fenrir's good too, dude.
Fenrir's good too.
Super good. Okay, my opponent will never have a board. All right, with the way I would build the deck, they would never have them.
I'm like more Aya than you are right now. I would lean on Haven right now. I think Haven's great at the moment, and I think it's severely underplayed. Underplayed.
No, I agree with you. I think Haven is very good right now, especially with the list that we've both been playing for the last couple of days.
Maybe you bring PDK, Haven, and Control Blood. Maybe that's like the spice.
My lineup. That would be my lineup. You know, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Underwear wins this game.
Yeah. We haven't made mention of much here, but 20-0, neutral forest, Underwear, getting in there. DV8, my horse. No, my kingdom. For my horse.
Dumpstered.
Moment of silence for Neutral Forest.
Moment of silence.
Rest in peace. Press F to pay your respects. But what that means is Underwear is coming back for Season 3, and he will be the first and only player